Yo guys, what's going on? LifeOfRio here, and I want to talk to you guys about what's going on with the whole gas nerf conversation that everybody's been talking to me about. And I kind of want to give you guys a neutral input on this entire situation. So basically what's going on right now is that the forums have been going crazy, spamming, saying that, gas is broken, all of this stuff. And what's happening is that gas is supposed to do 8 times damage with the stealth multiplier, like your stealth multiplier and everything. It's supposed to give you 8 times damage. Now what's happening is that gas and everything with your stealth multiplier, you're getting 8 times 8 times 8. So 8 times 8, which is 64, 64 times 8, which is 512. And it's giving you ridiculous damage across the board. So people are saying it's broken and it was never meant to be intended like this. So DE finally responded, and when DE responded, they basically said that they were aware, they were notified of a situation, and they will take precautions to go into it because this was not as intended. And that struck me as strange, because the reason why it struck me as strange is because this has been basically in the game for like 3.5 years. I hit my 4th year of playing this game back in February 12th, which just passed, which was last month. And for this to be in the game for so long, and you were just now notified of this, and DE has a small group of testers, and for you to just now be notified of this, which is crazy to me. Now, YouTubers have been a few YouTubers have been starting to just put up a lot of things with gas and all of that. But gas has been in the game so long, a lot of vets and everyone has been using it, and it's not really anything new to us. We just understand the mechanics of the game on how it went about. So people are saying that it was only intended to be used as a 8 times multiplier with stealth, but instead it's doing the 512. Now for the newer people that's just now figuring this out, thinking that they're the holy grail to Warframe, like they didn't just save the day. I mean, spamming DE with something that they've been spammed about is just crazy, because now you're trying to force them to change it when this should have been just applied in the damage 2.0 or whatever it's going to be that's supposed to be coming. Now DE, a lot of people are expecting that this change should come out within like a few weeks or so. Here's my problem with that. If this change comes out within a few weeks, I will be shocked by DE. Now, if this change come out in a few weeks, DE will just have blown my mind, because this has been here for almost 4 years. And there's no way in the world that you should have. This is not the first time DE has gotten this on the forum. This has been there for years. And since players are spamming you about this, you feel like you can just go ahead and change it. That makes no sense to me, because if that's the case, I need you to go ahead and implement that fire change as well, because fire is a terrible element. I need all of these elements to be looked at, and if you can just implement a change that quickly, I kind of need you to go ahead and fix armor scaling at the same time. Now, armor scaling and fixing something like this is two different things, but at the same time, they've been in the game for the same amount of time. That's what a lot of people aren't understanding. Now, when I first heard about this, I was kind of annoyed. I was like, well, but why are they changing it? But at the same time, I kind of had to look at it from DE's point of view, and yeah, I didn't really get anything from their point of view either. But here's the thing that I got out of this, which I thought was awesome, is that with this coming nerf, or with this coming change, let me know in the comment section which one you feel like it's going to be. Just caption your comment and put nerf, or you think it's right, whichever one. But here's the thing. With this coming towards Warframe and DE looking into this now, I love it, because what that does is that it opened Pandora's box for DE to actually address the monkey in the room, which is the freaking damage system and the elements. Now, that has always needed to be fixed. We as players have always been talking about that DE needs to look into it, and now their hand is kind of being forced with something that they kind of really need to take a look at. Now, with this gas change coming, from this going from 512 multiplier with your stealth and all of that, going down to an 8 times multiplier, I mean, your damage is gonna drop so hard. So you would have to go into different elemental setups. Now listen guys, trust me, there's other things crazier than gas, or just as crazy as gas in the game. It's just that we tend to keep things to ourselves, but I'll be making sure to help you guys out with builds according to the right way of building. Now here's the thing, with this being said, I don't think it's fair to bring gas down to an 8 times multiplier, because gas and toxin, they're in the same boat, because gas procs toxin. I don't think it should be brought down to an 8 times multiplier. At least bring it to a 64 instead of 8. It should be 64 because of what's going on is that gas is just a really bad element. Gas has always been a bad element, not including corpus. I'm just talking about just a bad element all around, because gas struggles against certain things and toxin struggles against armor when it's hit and all of that, which is weird because it's supposed to bypass and do everything else what gas entails. So here's what's going on. Slash deals 35% damage in 7 ticks over 6 seconds. Toxin deals 50% damage in 9 ticks over 8 seconds. Now, Slash completely bypasses armor. Now, if that's the thing, they're talking about that DE is going to stop the ticks and all of the dot effect on these moves, on these elements of what's going on. So if you stop the dot effect on gas, that's going to literally just completely cripple the element. So if you stop the dot effect on Slash, what's going to happen there? So it's like, what's going to happen with the new damage system that we're going to have? Now, even with this being said, guys, I can agree that gas needs to be fixed, but it shouldn't be brought back down, or it shouldn't be brought down to an 8 times multiplier, because gas isn't strong enough as an 8 times multiplier to help you out in the content that you're doing. Now, I know a lot of people on the forums that are complaining about this. They don't even do extended duration runs. They don't do anything to, keep up the amount of damage that they need. And they're doing little simple planets, and whatever damage type you want to use, even if you're using the wrong damage type on those planets, you're completely fine. That's not going to affect you in any kind of way. Now, with gas having a 64 times multiplier, it can somewhat keep up with an 8 times multiplier from Slash damage. And that's not even keeping up all the way. It can just be on par in some aspects of keeping up with an 8 times Slash multiplier. And that's how crazy Slash damage is, that gas even struggles. Even with a 64 times damage multiplier on it, it would still struggle to keep up with it. Now, what I feel would be ideal for this is to rework how toxin and gas, since toxin and gas, they produce basically the same, is to rework on how they work. Rework the entire thing. Rework gas, rework toxin, and rework freaking fire. I'm gonna keep talking about fire because this is why Ember is not always in a good place, is because fire freaking sucks in this game, and we need those things to be adjusted. But this can't be a change that happened overnight. So if DE wants to make this change overnight and just completely bring gas back down to an 8 times multiplier, that would literally blow my mind. Because the correct thing to do would be to at least take a month or two, have your people work some numbers, go through the damage system, which they're already working on. So why change this now if you're already working on a damage system, a new damage system that's coming out? Just go ahead and fix the whole thing then and drop it all at once. Now, guys, I didn't want this video to go on too long. I didn't want to come in here and completely start ranting with you guys. I wanted to go through this with at least some kind of sensibility throughout the whole thing. Now, I understand where DE is coming from as developers with their game, but at the same time, they also have to understand like where we're coming from as players that play their game. If you're used to something for such a long time and you've been using it for almost 4 years, or just the people when you've been playing, if you've been playing 3 years or 2 years, and it's never been a problem for DE to even like change it, then I find that as the problem. Like, if you're keeping this in your game and you know about it because there's been hundreds of forum posts about it and you've never thought to address the situation until now, players are going to get upset. Because if you let somebody get accustomed to using something for a long time, then those players get spoiled. A lot of players, they feeling like I've said in multiple of my videos, it's a way of life for a lot of people because it's your way of playing. It's your way of how you know the game. So when someone takes something out the game that you've been using for a very long time, for years and years, and just all on the fly it's been changed, it kind of just messes up everything for you and you feeling like you're being cheated. Now, the correct way for DE to go about this is to address the situation by fixing all damage types and not just nerfing gas, but at the same time making these damage types stand out a lot more, because a lot of them are currently in the situation that they're in. They're so weak, and I feel like it should definitely be fixed. So let me know in the comment section, how do you guys feel about this? As of right now, I'm not mad about gas being nerfed. I'm not mad about gas being fixed or being changed. I just want the damage system to be on a correct path to where all elements can actually be used in the correct scenario, because a lot of them are just so overlooked and we do not use them. Now, a lot of people like to think like fire bypasses armor, and so many players think that fire bypasses armor and directly goes to health. If that was the case, Ember would be freaking amazing, and that's not the case. So a lot of it needs to be changed, and I completely understand DE, because a lot of this has been from years and years back, and DE has gotten so much better now as developers and, you know, doing things with their game. So I really hope that they go about this in the right way and fixing it up, just so we can, yes, it's going to be a change, and anytime you get change, people are up in arms about it because, you know, it's new, we don't understand it. But make it to where whenever we learn the new damage type, the new damage system, whatever you're going with, that it's something that actually works out for the player, to where you don't just pick a side. And that's one thing I don't like. I don't want them to pick a side to go, okay, the newer players or the casual players are doing this. Make it to where, like, if you DEs has been talking about endgame lately, make it to where we can go endgame with the right setups. Make it to where endgame is definitely a thing that's here for. So as always, guys, thank you guys so much for checking out the video. I hope that you guys enjoyed. Let me know on how you guys are feeling about the situation. Do you guys feel like gas should be nerfed? Do you guys feel like gas should be brought down to an 8x stealth multiplier? Or do you feel like I'm currently kind of right, or going in the right direction about gas having a 64 instead of an 8? Have an extra dip in the pool, because it's too low of a multiplier for the content that's going on in the game and for how gas works as an element. Now, as always, like I've said, have an amazing day, guys. Be sure to click the link in the description to join the Discord. For all of you guys, I've been streaming a lot more. Follow me on Twitter. Oh, if you guys aren't following me on Twitter, be sure to do so. My Twitter is LifeOfRio, guys. Check out my Twitter. I'll be having a lot of things going on, and I'm just so thankful for the love and support. I have a lot more videos coming out, and I will catch you guys later on the next Warframe video.